How's it going, everybody? This is Sayer here, and today we have the third video for the new Age of Marvel Strike Force. And just like yesterday, they ended up putting out a blog, and there was some interesting things I want to go over quick. So for the Legends section on here, each of the three legendary characters will initially specialize in one game mode and won't necessarily belong to a traditional team. So it sounds like the legendary characters aren't going to have a set team to it, because they're going to be forming that huge ANNIHILUS team after the year. That's kind of how I interpret this. I'm curious if they're going to talk more about that in the video right here. Now, I know the main thing about this one is supposed to be about the stores, the currencies, how they plan to kind of work on that. So let's go ahead and check this video out.
Greetings, Commanders.
Are we seriously wearing the same shirt?
And we're back with our third
That's
and final
hilarious
episode in the Strike Spot miniseries, A New Age in Marvel Strike Force. If you haven't already, go back and check out videos 1 and 2 so you're all caught up on the latest news on this new age. Today, we're going to be covering the currencies and stores, so it's a big topic. You're not going to want to miss the last part of this interview. Don't forget to give all of your feedback and ask questions on our official Discord page, our Reddit, and our Facebook page. And we're going to answer those live on Twitch this Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific. We're excited to see you there. Let's go ahead and dive in to the last part of this interview. All right, well, welcome back, Commanders. We are in our third and final interview portion of this mini-series, A New Age of MSF. We kicked off in video 1, and if you haven't watched video 1 and 2, I would definitely encourage you to do so. They're not super long, but they are very informative. We've talked about the new age, what it means, how it's going to be beneficial to players. We've talked about the chapter structure and how that's going to work. And today we probably have what a lot of players are going to be most interested in hearing about, and that is seasonal shop and the store refresh, if you will. So I think, we start off with the stores have been...
Yeah, that's something that needs to be done a long time ago. We have so much currency in that store.
Start off with the stores have been really a hot topic in the community for a long time. So let's start by talking about what we're changing.
Yeah, I would definitely +1. It's been a big topic, even with the development team here. I think when I joined the team, a lot of players' wallet sizes were already kind of out of control. And so we had this chicken and egg problem, right? Where you didn't want to put great items into the shop because then just basically you're not really necessarily even needing to engage in what we kind of call the core modes to earn the currencies because you already have, a significant wallet. So what we know and want to do is we want to provide the players with great value inside of our shops, right? Giving you a lot of agency and choice in terms of what do you want to be, spending this currency on? What do you find valuable? And so what we're going to be doing is creating kind of a chapter or a seasonal shop that will be around for the 3 months that chapter is, active, and you will be earning a new seasonal currency throughout that chapter. And as that currency you're earning or acquiring that currency, we're going to have great items inside of these seasonal shops. So think of things that are going to give you great value. So maybe the latest gear tier, training mods, new characters. And I mean new characters earlier on than we've ever put them into any shop prior, so that if you are someone who says, I really want that new Cosmic Crucible team, you can really spend a lot of this currency to try and power up that Cosmic Crucible team. We're trying to really just create agency for our players, which I think we've lacked for kind of a long time. But we also know that we need to kind of reset a lot of the balances, so to speak, that players have had for a long time. But within this new seasonal shop, you're going to be able to earn things that you've never been able to kind of earn in the game prior.
Awesome. Well, you talked about...
That sounds pretty interesting, being able to get the characters, because right now it's the character gets the purchase date, and then we have the event. It looks like they're going back to about the 10 days after that to start getting those shards, and then about 3 months after that is when they kind of go into like the bump, or not the bumps. Bumps is about a month mark. Then it goes into like the store. So being able to get them that quick is very nice. if they have G20 in there, that's what I'll be focusing on. So I'm kind of curious, what are you guys going to be looking for in those shops?
A new seasonal currency. So where are you going to be earning this seasonal currency from?
Yeah, so the seasonal currency, first and foremost, is through engagement only. We won't be selling this currency in any way, shape, or form. You will be able to go through what we call kind of the core loop, or a lot of the events inside of the command center, or global milestones, or just playing the normal core modes, right? Playing a raid, playing war, playing arena, playing cosmic crucible. You will start to earn this currency, and then throughout the chapter, as you're earning that currency, the shop is also going to be improving because new items will constantly be going into the shop. So the value of the shop itself from, say, month one of the start of a chapter is going to be great value, but by month three, there's going to be even more exciting items inside of that shop for you to be able to purchase from.
Awesome. So I guess my question.
That can kind of encourage hoarding in a sense, because if you know that the great stuff is coming on that month 3 mark, then I could see people not using it on month 1 and 2, then just hoarding all of it for that 3rd month. So I don't know how I feel about that portion of it.
Question, and probably a lot of people's mind as well. You talk about how you're going to be earning these from War, Arena, Crucible. So what exactly is happening with those existing currencies, those existing stores?
Yeah, so eventually, all of those currencies will be deprecated, right? We will stop giving those out. You'll start earning the seasonal currency. What we're deeming kind of the current currencies that you get, we're currently calling those internally the legacy currency. So eventually, what we want to do is create a legacy shop. So we're going to do a conversion for all of the currencies that you currently have. That'll be very beneficial to our players. We're not taking anything away from anyone. We want this to be something that you're really excited about, right? So that conversion is going to happen. So all of your existing currencies will eventually be converted into this legacy currency. Shortly, soon, after the new age starts, we'll create a legacy shop that will contain a lot of the existing items that you see in a shop today. But then also, as a chapter concludes, and say we stop chapter 1, we're starting chapter 2, a lot of the items that were inside of the chapter 1 shop will now move into the legacy shop. So the legacy shops also are going to improve over time. So a lot of valuable items will also eventually hit the legacy shop, so you can still use that currency that you have today to buy some great stuff.
Okay. That sounds actually pretty good, because that would mean that they're constantly updating the shop every 3 to 4 months for the legacy shop, and then they kind of keep doing that new cycle. That's pretty smart as far as that goes. They better keep the training mats in there from the arena shop, because I purchase both of those every single day. So as long as they don't take that portion away, and we have a way to get training mats, gold orbs, whatever, that's going to be kind of key right now.
Okay, you talk about how the currency conversion is going to be beneficial. Can we give a brief, summary on how that's going to look? Some players might have millions of some of these currencies.
Yeah, I think a lot of players have millions of these currencies. We're looking at each existing currency and trying to ensure that with every currency, we're not taking anything away from any of those players. As well as we know we're going to do something additional on top of, meaning once that conversion happens, we're also going to give you, X amount of an additional legacy currency, so that you're earning something on top of it that you would not have necessarily even had. So let's just say, hypothetically, you have 5 million of these currencies, and you may walk away when we do the conversion with 6, 7, 8 million of those currencies, to ensure that you feel very good about the conversion rate that we're giving you as a player.
You kind of talked about what happens at the end of each chapter. We kind of talk about how we're going to get a net gain for all of these things. I think really the only question we haven't answered yet is, when does this new age actually kick off?
Yeah, the Age of ANNIHILUS will start in May. There's a lot of developers that are working very hard to make this happen. This was something that we decided we wanted to do pretty late in Q4, and there was all of the kind of work that we had in the 9.0 release, and now we're just moving a lot of people and resources around to try and get this age kicked off. I would say, be patient with us in terms of we're going to continue to iterate on this, right? Like even Command Center right now, that's kind of version 1 of where we would like that feature to be. The legacy shop, we would have loved for it to be there kind of day one, but we know that's probably not the reality that we're living in. So a lot of these things will start to come in as the ages are have kicked off or started. Even kind of the sense of immersion that we're trying to drive, the way that we want to play with characters differently, we want them to be a part of the age. So we don't just want you to wait a year long for, say, Annihilus to come into the game. We want you to see Annihilus earlier on. We want you to feel Annihilus. We want you to see some of these other legendary characters earlier on. So a lot of the things that we're doing right now are to just kind of kickstart this new age that will start in May. But as this age is progressing, you are going to see the game constantly changing to kind of really fit the mold of what we're trying to build here. And we're going to learn on things that are working, maybe some things that we need to tweak. But yeah, I'm beyond excited to start this new age in May, because I think players, once they really see what we're trying to do, are also going to be extremely excited with the direction that the game is headed.
Thanks, Ryan. Make sure to stay tuned to our blog and all of our social channels as we near closer to the age of Annihilus. This concludes our 3-part miniseries on the new age in Marvel Strike Force. In a couple days on Friday, we're going to have a live Twitch stream at 11 a.m. Pacific, where RJ and I will answer all of the questions that we've been gathering over the past few days. If you haven't already, make sure to head to our Discord, our Facebook, or our Reddit page to ask your questions about any of the previous videos, and we'll be sure to answer as many as we can live on Twitch. We'll also be answering as many questions as we can from the chat as well. Ryan, I wanted to give you the last word on this age. What do you want to leave players with? What do you want to say to them?
Yeah, I mean, besides being really excited to go on a live stream with you, which I've never done before, we have to make sure we're in the same clothes, though. That's what we got to do.
We can coordinate that.
I did not
But no,
coordinate
I
with Path
think,
Daddy.
as I look back on the previous year, I think there's a lot of things we did that I'm super proud of, and there's some things that I critique, myself, and kind of say, oh, I wish we did this a little bit differently. And ultimately, I think the changes that we're making right now are to really try and benefit all of our players, and especially those that are really engaged in this game, right? That give us the most valuable thing you have, which is your time. And we want to really reward players for giving us their time. And I think we've been hearing for a long time, again, on kind of the ways that we've ran, our legendary events in the past, or the way that the shops have been, lacking some of the valuable items that maybe a lot of the community have been screaming for. We hear the community. And I think everything that we're doing right now is to make some really great changes to this game. And I think it's going to really push us in a direction that everyone is going to be beyond excited for. And so that's what I'm really excited about. Everyone was always talking about, maybe the new game mode that we're working on that gets everyone really pumped up and excited. And believe me, I'm very excited about that game mode, or some of the changes we'll be making to Battle World within this year. But these changes that we're about to roll out for what we are calling, our ages, are what I'm the most excited about, because I think it's going to be the greatest benefit to all of our players.
Well, thanks for joining us in this mini series. Thanks for giving us all of this news. I gotta say, I'm very excited for this. We hope you're excited for this as well, for these changes that are really coming very soon. And with that, we're gonna end it here. We'll see you on Friday.
Sounds great. Thanks, Pathfinder.
All right, so there was some pretty good information in there, and the reason I was kind of making those faces towards the end is because there's kind of a glaring thing going on in the game right now, which it's no secret, it's the overpowered, right? Just the way overpowered has changed everything in the game, having it to where you either have that rank 11 Odin or you don't. It makes it to where Arena, War, Cosmic Crucible, everything has changed for the current investment that you have in the game. I was going to do a quick matchup to kind of show you what overpowered actually is. I'll try to make a video on this, talking about this more in depth. And this is my reigning team I've been using, and it's the 3 Annihilators. There, my Thanos endgame is G20, and just see the damage that he ended up popping out on this. Let's go ahead and target Odin right here. We're going to ult with Gore. Right there, Apoc's almost dead. Null's almost dead. There's been no assist with Odin, so there's no battlefield effect. I got my assist. I hit special. And now Odin's going to do about 2 or 3 swipes, and the match is over. It's kind of a joke as far as the damage, and I'll kind of show you what this damage is going to end up being right here. So here, Apoc ults. Here's the swipe. 6.2 million almost took out Apoc. It one-shot Null right there. This is kind of overshadowing all of the goodwill that's kind of been done with the new age system that they've been talking about. So I'm hoping they make a change to overpowered. I don't think they're going to get rid of it. They spent way too much time and investment to put into the game on this. And you can see there's like no way I'm going to lose this matchup. Let's go ahead and ult right here. And the ult, that's going to call the assist in. And there we go. 4 million damage assist with Odin right there. I am tempted to make Odin a striker right now, because getting those assists is just going to be brutal. But yeah, just the way overpowered has changed the game. It's taken away a lot of the goodwill that the ages, the stores, and everything has been kind of giving. Now, something I do want to look at is, it feels like this X-Coin store is kind of a prelude to what the new seasonal store is going to end up being. I'm curious as far as with the legacy store type of thing that he talked about. How are you going to put all of these gear items, all of the Blitz characters, all of these characters all in one store? That seems like it's going to be way too much scrolling as far as that goes. So I'm curious if these tabs are going to stay here, and the seasonal store will just kind of be in this one. But all of these stores here are going to end up using the same currency that we have, where I have 1.14 million raid currency. I have 1.8 million of the war currency type of thing. So I'm curious how this store is going to end up being, making it to where all of these items here would end up going into these stores. It sounds pretty nice, and making it to where those characters are farmable in the event store much sooner. That does excite me, to where even new players, free to play, light spenders are able to kind of get those extra shards, get those extra star levels on those type of characters. So let me know what you guys think. Are you excited about the store? I know overpowered's like a very touchy subject right now. I'll kind of do a video with my 2 cents. I've had so much feedback on it. I kind of want to give the voice to the audience, so that we can kind of just read through those comments on there. So I'll try to come up with something probably this weekend, is probably going to be when that video comes out. That gives time for Scopely to kind of analyze what happened this week and go through it, because I had a very miserable time in War, to where my out of time team got soloed by Pav in War. It was ridiculous. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day.